Hi, this is Alex, and today I'll be demonstrating Funnel Science, how to use it, and the capabilities. So in the first slide, we're looking at the Funnel Science live dashboard, and we have it synced up and linked to campaign budgets and then to sales outcomes. So at the top level, we're looking at how much we're spending on advertising and what's the return on investment by month. We have a funnel to show how many visitors came into the site, calls, leads, and then customers through the funnel. And then below, we are analyzing missed calls, visitors by day, forms by day, calls by day, and qualified leads by day. So across the navigation here is where the functions lie. So in the first set is visitors, and within visitors we're tracking website visits. And then we have forms and phone calls integration. So if somebody goes to the website and calls this number, that is immediately tracked in the phone calls report. Or if somebody goes to the website and fills out the contact form, then that lead is immediately entered in. So we have some short code. It's really simple to install. It makes your forms work and then imports in. It's the same thing with the phone call. So if I go and look at the source code real quick, I'm going to show you what's installed to make this function. So right here we have the Funnel Science script. So it opens here and then it closes on line 43. So we have these lines of code right there, and then there's only one other snippet that we have to place. Right here it says span class. This is what serves the phone number. So if you just copy and paste this over your phone number, it then gives you the phone call tracking, and then it imports into the phone calls list. So let's go and look at phone calls real quick. So in Funnel Science, we don't track phone calls as leads until they've been qualified from a sales rep. So here's a lead that came in yesterday, and it says that it came in from Google and that it says CPC. So that's one of our campaigns. If I open it up real quick, here's all of the caller ID data. And this is the keyword that somebody typed into Google, and this is the campaign that they got matched up to. Now we have an option. I can assign it to different sales reps, or I can just hit this button and save it to our training calls. Let's say it's a really good call and I wanted to train people on it later. That's what I would do with that. Or let's say it was a really bad call and I need to talk about it later with the people. I would save it. And then we have a training queue. So in the training calls, it's right here. And the purpose of it is to improve your sales and customer service functions by listening to calls, figuring out what they're calling for, and then updating notes or using that. You can also send the email recording. So if you wanted to listen to the call recording, you just click this button. Or you can email that to whoever you want to. Or if you wanted to look at the customer's entire activity log to see what they were doing, you'll see this. You'll see the first visit, the last visit, their IP address, where they're located, which ISP they're on, and then this tells you which web page that they're on, where they came from, the keyword, and even some more specific marketing data. Down here we can see here's the activity log. They started here on the home page. Once they stayed on the home page, so they were here, they got down and they filled this information and hit submitted. So back to the visitors log, we can do that for forms and phone calls. Then we also analyze missed opportunities. So here's your phone call report. These are calls that aren't answered. They're pre-analyzed for you so you know what was missed, so you can quickly identify it and come back to that. And we also have campaign tracking URLs. So if you're running AdWords or Bing or any sort of digital campaign, this is super important. This is allow us to link to the campaign, so we can preset these for you. So we're analyzing that and then presetting to make sure that it's tracking correctly. The last thing under visitors is a visitor log. So if you have multiple websites, we can create and add them to the same database. So I'm going to go down and look at just this log. I'm going to change it to 20 to 500 visitors, and we're only looking at the last week's worth of data. So we're analyzing for click fraud. We're analyzing where in the world people are coming from. Within this function, if I wanted to navigate down and see, well, where are my Dallas leads coming from? you can zoom in and you can see where they're mapped to. And then if you really wanted to drill down, you can see approximately where they're at. Now, if this isn't exactly right. For this person, it's saying they were on the golf course when they responded. The IP is what shows us the location data. So from the IP address, that's where it's pulling and graphing the visitor location. Down here, here's all of the visitors. So from this click fraud report, that's really important because we use that data to go back to Google or back to Bing and say, hey, that these clicks were fraudulent, we need to get our money back. And that's how that's used. Now, once a visitor comes in and they've responded, they're then going to go in and become an unclaimed lead. So an unclaimed lead means that they need to get assigned to a salesperson. So it's showing here, these are the unclaimed leads. Now if I go to my leads, it's going to show all leads that are assigned to me during this time. Now if I change it back, here's the leads that are not qualified assigned to me. Here's the qualified leads that are assigned to me. So we're scoring these interactions, and we have a qualification process. So I'm going to open it up. So here is the lead stages, and here are the steps of the sales cycle. This is really important because this is where the drip marketing feeds in. I'm going to just switch over out of the screen real quick to show you that. So under customer stages, customer meaning a prospect, so stage 1 has not been qualified. In this stage they're working and qualified, and stage 2 is they're actually in the sales cycle. From stage 1 to stage 2 we have to have them worked and qualified. And then if we go over here and open up this one, for example, we can add steps. So if there's micro steps to qualifying, we can add those steps. So you might call it like qualification step 2 documents, and then you might need to build documents. Now if you needed to do a drip email and say please send your documents ... hit save, you just created the drip email template specifically for that step. You can move it up or down in the sequence, and you can add more steps. So if I go back, so let's look at stage 1 has not been qualified. I think we have 13. Yeah, we have 13 drip emails. And then we have an email intro call to schedule first meeting, our negotiation or rebuttals, and then close sales. So these are the different steps that we can go through. Let's look at email 6 real quick. It's as if somebody hasn't responded to 5 previous emails, and now we're really trying to get their attention. We have a drip email that's already set up, and it says, we've attempted to reach you but have not been able. Possibly you've been eaten by alligators. More likely you're swamped with work and swimming with the alligators. So this type of email gets people's attention and gets them to respond, and we have it personalized down here with me, the sales rep, and have for me to call back. So within the leads, the way that we got here is we were looking at a lead and then looking at drip marketing real quick. So I'm going to go back to my leads. So on the leads, open up Alchemy, that was the one I was looking at. So if we wanted to, they're now qualified, they now want to work with us, and they're looking for a solution. Now we're going to give them a pitch, we're going to give them a product that they're looking for. So maybe they're looking for this product, for example. So we would do quantity, how many of them, and then here's the price. So that can be pre-built in as a template, and then hit submit. That saves right there. Down here is the interactions log, so each time we talk to them we can do an email, phone, person, text message, and so on. So like let's say that I had a in-person meeting with them, and that was yesterday. Then notes about onboarding. So saving the notes is really important. You can also link, add images, you can style this whichever way you want. Down here, if the customer sends documents, we can upload documents. So choose a file. So I can choose right here and say I wanted to upload this document, or let's say I wanted to upload this image. we can do that. Just double click, hit upload file, and then it's going to save to that lead record. So that's very powerful in a lot of sales situations because you need to store your documents. You might be in the field, need to reference this document later to build the quote, so now you can just immediately attach that document into your CRM record and then pull it up later. So if you qualify it and then it goes from lead, it's qualified lead, and then now they sign up, you send them the contract or they write a check, however you collect payment or onboard, you would then hit this button, convert to customer. Now, I don't want to convert this one to a customer as it's an actual lead that we're working and we think they're going to sign up, so I don't really want to mess with that one. But if I go back to my leads and find one of my test leads, or if I find one that I'm not so worried about, Stefan Lake, in fact, they just signed the contract yesterday, so at about 5 p.m. So this morning we need to go here, change it to customer, and then go down here. It's qualified. It looks like all that's. Then I'm going to just save that real quick so the qualification saves. Convert to customer. Now it's converted to customer. There's no product revenue in here, so I'm going to just add that in real quick. I think that they signed up on this ×2. So hit submit. Yep, and it gave that. Now if I had multiple contacts here, I can build multiple contacts. So I have Jeffrey Kearns in there. I'm going to add John Madsen. And I think that's all I need. Okay, so just put the name. I can add his contact information later. We have a knowledge base, and from the knowledge base, we can add stuff like logins, notes, any sort of information that our back-end operations people need to know about this client record. It goes in the knowledge base. So we just went through visitors, leads, and customers. We scratched the surface on products. So I showed you that we have products. If I go in here, I can add a product. So you can add it specifically to a website, a specific name, a SKU, a price, and a general description. If I go back, so these are the ones that we have. These are the different pricing. If I open it up, here's the general information. You can save it, archive it, do away with it. That feeds into the sales performance report. So if I'm go here, I'm going to create a report. So we have custom reporting and standard reporting. So if I wanted to look at basically like June phone calls, and I only wanted to look at the PPC, because that's where we're running our campaigns, I'm going to create the report, and here's the call log with the reports. So it's already separated by the different routes. So we have scrubbing, call extensions, and then office, or what we call campaigns. There's no data down here because these campaigns aren't running, but the routes are still built. So you have a report that shows you phone calls, and you can listen to the call recordings or analyze this deeper. There's other reports that are built in here, and if you needed a custom report or something specifically designed, we could do that. These are the templates that we have. So a calls report, a leads report, pay-per-click report, e-commerce report, or what's standard. And then on this side over here, this is where the machine learning comes in. So we have a keyword map, customer journey map, and then we have 3 data sets: training data, form data, and phone call data. So within the keyword map, this shows you, this is a map or a tree, and the bigger the word, the more money that it's made the company. So this is really useful for marketing teams to know what's the language of the customer and what brings us more sales or less sales. And if we go to customers report, we can see the actual keyword. So this is revenue by keyword, revenue by campaign, top customers report, product revenue report, revenue by source, revenue by rep, and then right now I'm searching for that customer. Here's all customers in the range. So you can see down here in the top level we're mapping the source and the keyword where it came from. And then if you go in, you can open up the dashboard and then look at all the other information within the dashboard or start managing the record. We also have integrations over here. So we have 2 sections. This is not standard for a user account. I'm logged in as an admin account, but what is standard is most of what's right here at think the only thing that's not accessible is websites. But the main thing to point out here is integration. So these are the plug-and-play integrations that we're already tied into. With just one click here and then one more click to link in, you can sync up your Funnel Science to Google AdWords or to Salesforce, Infusionsoft, Google Analytics. We have roadmapped other platforms that are coming in, and we also have a custom API, so we can sync this data outward, so upstream or downstream. So this is what it's going to look like when you're synced up, and those are the basic and some of the more intermediate abilities within Funnel Science. If you have any questions, please shoot me an email. I'll be glad to answer it. Thanks. Have a great day.